Hello, I'm Elizabeth Wasco, Chair of the Laudable Londoners Committee. The Salute to Laudable Londoners is a charitable event that honours people from our community who have dedicated their time to charitable causes. This year, we are pleased to honour Dr. Cathy Faulds, who has generously dedicated her time, energy, and expertise to our local community. Dr. Faulds currently serves as a palliative care physician with St. Joseph Healthcare London and is a staff family physician at London Health Sciences Centre. She also currently serves as the chair of the OMA and ARGI Inc., which delivers and evaluates chronic disease programs to primary care. Despite her already busy schedule, throughout the pandemic, Dr. Cathy Faulds was instrumental in arranging and administering COVID vaccines in-home for individuals we support, keeping them safe and healthy. She also helped PHSS nurses get approval from the Middlesex London Health Unit to administer vaccines and order additional doses. On top of all of this, Dr. Faulds conducted an internal review of PHSS's COVID protocols to be submitted to the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services. As an organisation that helps individuals achieve their full potential in the community, it is a pleasure to honour special Londoners like Dr. Cathy Faulds, distinguished in their commitment to service. Thank you.
Good evening. I was touched many years ago when I heard this story of Participation House and what it was about and what it was doing and the lives it touched. And I was one of those lives it touched, and I didn't have the kind of needs that the clients have that are so well served by Participation House Support Services. So it's an extraordinary organization. Before I get into the other stuff, I just wanted to make one quick comment that we're talking about an organization that many people in our extended community know absolutely nothing about. And the staff at Participation House can only do so much in the way of promotion, if you're allowed to say that. Other sort of charities have quite a bit of a higher profile in the wide community, and I wish this organization had as high a profile as some, because think about what they do, dealing with individuals with developmental and medical and complex physical needs, and they give them some dignity, and they give these individuals and their families a chance to participate in the community in which they live. So it's important that the rest of the community knows that, and they can draw support from people who are informed. Well, I like doing this event because nobody asked me to do anything else anymore. One day, I have two grandsons now, adults, but one of them became an RN and worked at the hospital, and during his indoctrination, that's not the word, isn't it? Orientation, that's it. He was toured through the hospitals, and he was at University Hospital in the boardroom, and they had a picture of all the old goats that had been chairman persons. And he saw my picture, and he took a picture with his phone and sent it to me and said, "Grandfather, I guess at one time you used to be somebody after all." And that, I was filled with pride. Took him out of the will, but I was filled. This is an interesting night for me, too, for another reason. We're honoring someone I didn't know until tonight, but boy, did I know about her. Didn't everybody know about her, but we had never met. So we had that opportunity tonight, and I'm glad we had a chance to chat first. You see, I play golf regularly with a guy named Mike Faulds, Foulds. And so people say to him often, "Oh, you're Dr. Faulds," and he doesn't deny it. I told him, get a billing number. And I said, you've got to start telling people you're not Dr. Faulds. You're Mike Faulds, and you're really nobody by comparison. But there he was on the 8th green doing BPs, and I said, when you start doing lab analysis, you're going to get in trouble. But being a Faulds isn't as good tonight as being a Faulds. And we honor someone tonight who's quite extraordinary. So I thought I'd read her CV, but we only have the room till 12. She is an extraordinary individual. Her commitment is extraordinary. In a health system that is often these days vilified, and people say the healthcare system is broken, well, here's a resolved and widely respected physician who makes sure that care is given and work is done and people's lives are changed. So this is a good night, and I'm going to call first on the chair of Participation House Support Services Foundation, Marion Strom. Will you welcome Marion, please? Can I have your chair?
Yes, you did it well. Looks like this year I've been demoted back to chair. Last year I was president. Thank you, Bill, and it's good to see everyone here tonight. Can you believe this is the 24th annual Laudable Londoners? And we are celebrating the 35th anniversary of PHSS. It's wonderful to be at the Hunt Club again this year. And we decided to continue with the virtual version of our event as well for those in Ottawa and those who are unable to be with us this evening. For those of you attending virtually, we encourage you to use the chat box as your comments will be shown at the end of the presentation. We are fortunate to have several sponsors for this evening's event: Rogers TV London, Invorg, St. Clair and Associates, CIBC Wood Gundy, London Medical Pharmacy, Wasco Developments, CSP Medical, Gallagher, Green Shield, and Learners. And I would like you to join me in giving them a round of applause for their support. We have many familiar faces joining us tonight. But for those who may not know us yet, PHSS is a nonprofit organization that provides unique and flexible supports and services so that persons with complex medical, physical, and/or developmental needs can live the life they choose as part of the community. Many of the folks that we support are ventilator dependent and medically fragile. And without this, they might be living in a hospital. Supporting over 300 individuals in over 70 locations throughout Ontario, including 4 locations in Ottawa, PHSS provides 24 hours residential supports, day and overnight respite, recreational programs, specialized medical care, and intensive behavioral supports. We also support individuals who live at home with their families. Wow. We'd like to share a short video demonstrating how PHSS enriches the life of our communities and the people we support.
There we go. You ready? This is our daughter, Maddie. Maddie's 22 years old, and she has an infectious laugh and a very, very, very determined spirit. We had a couple of friends who were receiving supports, and we just couldn't believe what PHSS was doing out in the community. One of our first introductions was sailing. And Maddie was able to sail for the first time independently with her support worker. And we were just floored at the flexibility of supports. It's amazing that Maddie can create her day. It's a custom day. And we have 4 full days of support for Maddie, which is incredible for us.
What do you think, Maddie? Maddie likes it.
So we brought together a number of folks, particularly that looked after some of these patients in ICU settings. So we were familiar with all the needs of patients that were, quote, medically fragile in an ICU. You know, the breathing support needs, the intravenous needs, the feeding needs, the physiotherapy needs, the nursing needs. We were familiar with that for patients that had acute medical problems in our ICUs. So it wasn't much of a step for us to try to create the system outside of ICU.
Somebody who you consider having a complex medical need, they need support. It's not just the ventilator or the technology. It is the tracheostomy, the opening in their windpipe, their airway. There's a lot of things to learn. They're not complex, but you put them together and you refer to them as having complex needs because they have multiple needs.
So that's where the benefit of PHSS has been over the last 10 years. We're able to provide these patients with a venue of care that's like home. They have their own trained support workers, and they actually can do it better than some of our staff in ICU, because if they end up coming back to ICU because of an acute care problem, you know, they know the patient's needs better than a new nurse coming on.
I can think of a few people who have come out of ICU, and some of them have been very young. What is their capacity to be part of the community? Mm-hmm. And in the hospital, they're not. They're not living their lives, they're just stuck in that place, mm-hmm. right? To watch people come out and just grow and do things that people thought they could never do.
You can certainly see it and hear it from your clients too. That's the kind of care that they want. You can see the attention to care within the homes for these individuals. And at the same time, keeping them socially engaged, extremely important.
But it benefits not just the individual and the family, it benefits the hospital, the system, and the community.
The fact that we can support people until end of life, it is somewhat, although sad, it is very satisfying coming from a staffing perspective that you were able to, you know, give them that care and support that they needed up until they no longer needed it. I've been here for 22 years because of the people that we support, and it's fulfilling for myself to watch them grow and achieve the goals that they've set for themselves for the years, and just to watch them thrive and enjoy their life. Everybody deserves that.
Formerly, she used to always want to be around us and go everywhere with us.
One of the big changes we see is when the support workers come in the morning, she runs to the door. She's like ready to go for the day.
She's like, open the door, flings it open, and just runs out the door. We have seen her independence skyrocket.
The great thing too when we have consistency in the staff is, you know, you do end up building relationships with the people that we support. They do almost become your own little family.
The family support program has had an incredible impact on Maddie's life. So for the first time, Maddie, without us, went to Toronto with girlfriends. They rented a hotel room and stayed in it all together with a hot tub. And there was actually a rooftop pool surrounded by skyscrapers. That was a really, really big thing for her, to go on her own, without her parents, with her friends, and supported completely. She really, really enjoys an adventure.
Yeah, I know, right? For sure.
I think seeing that expands our knowledge of what's going on and why it's so very, very important. I said earlier that I would like to go through point by point about our honorees' professional life, but it's would take too long, as I intimated, but we'll hear details from people who are going to be speaking about her, who have been asked to come. And there was a lineup of people who wanted to speak. We had a table set up, and I handled the rejections. But if some people wanted very much to be on the agenda, we only had so much time. So we made the decision that the people who would speak tonight had a message that was important. In fact, everybody who wanted to speak had a message. There's great admiration for our honoree. So now I'm pleased to introduce by video Peter Fragikatos, who is the London North Centre Member of Parliament.
Hi everybody, it's Peter Fragikatos, Member of Parliament in London North Centre. I wish I could be with you this evening. Unfortunately, I can't be, and that's because Parliament is in session and I'm in Ottawa. But I did want to, first of all, say a few words about the importance of this event. Laudable Londoners is something that I've attended in the past. Thank you to the organizers for continuing this tradition. I think it's very important, particularly in this day and age, to recognize the contributions of fellow citizens who have made our city better. And that's exactly what Dr. Cathy Faulds has done. Cathy, congratulations on the recognition. You certainly deserve it. What a wonderful thing it is to see someone like you placed in the spotlight. I know you're a modest person, and therefore, like many leaders, like many community members who have received this award in the past, you might be a bit uncomfortable with what's happening tonight. Not to worry, you deserve this praise. You absolutely do. You're a graduate of Western University. You are someone who has given back to your profession in terms of your contributions to the Ontario Medical Association. Your work in palliative care is noted, and particularly at a time when we see an aging population, not just in London, but across Canada, the contributions of those experts like you is something that deserves a special recognition too. And of course, your work in family medicine and teaching at the university. All of these things that you've done, frankly, I don't know where you found the time, but you certainly have found the time to give back in this way to your community and to your country and to your fellow citizens. You are so deserving of this award. I congratulate you again, and I want to say something about your family too, and friends around you. I'm sure along the way you've been supported, and to them, thank you very much for rallying around, because as all of us know, there are no achievements without those of us, those in the background rather, who are supporting us along the way, offering encouragement. I think your award tonight, this special thing that is happening, really speaks to the fact that you have a network around you that has at every point been behind you. So to all those again, I wish I could be with you. Unfortunately, I cannot be, but even still, hope to see you again soon, and congratulations once again, Dr. Faulds.
As far as we know, that member, Mr. Fragikatos, has never been on a vacation paid for by a rich person. However, he was once seen in Owen Sound, if that's important. And now we go to Queen's Park virtually and hear from the member of the Provincial Legislative Assembly, Mr. Rob Flack.
Hi, it's Rob Flack, MPP for Elgin, Middlesex, London. I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate Dr. Cathy Faulds for her lifetime achievement and being honored tonight as a Laudable Londoner. Doctor, mentor, professor, and chair of the Ontario Medical Association, a lifetime of dedicated service. Congratulations and well done. On behalf of the Government of Ontario, we appreciate your service to community. All the very best. Have a great night all.
Thank you very much. I'd now like to we're doing a lot of videos tonight. Huh? We'll have cartoons later for SpongeBob is my favorite, because I like the classics. I'm going to call now upon I can't call upon, I'm going to introduce the video with Jennifer Everson, who is the Vice President Clinical at Ontario Health West.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Everson. I'm the Vice President of Clinical at Ontario Health West Region. I'm pleased to share remarks on behalf of Ontario Health as we celebrate my friend and colleague, Dr. Cathy Faulds. At Ontario Health, we believe strongly in building connections that improve health experiences and outcomes for everyone. And Cathy exemplifies this approach in her pursuit of improved care and quality of life for her patients. Cathy, I've known you for about 10 years now, and I've always enjoyed your collaborative spirit. Whether you're serving patients and families in direct care settings or mentoring the next generation of healthcare leaders, with Cathy, you know you've got the best of the best. Cathy has served on numerous committees focused on quality improvement, and she has co-authored accreditation standards for primary care. Currently, she also holds a very senior leadership position with the Ontario Medical Association and has provided significant leadership in the Ontario College of Family Physicians. Cathy's patients will tell you that with Cathy, they feel they're in good hands and that their voice is heard. They describe you, Cathy, as a wonderful and kind advocate for their healthcare needs. Cathy also understands the changing needs and preference of her patients. She was an early adopter of digital tools and social media to engage patients in new ways. And this work in 2016 was recognized by the Association of Family Health Teams of Ontario as a leader in changing communication with patients and health communities. Now, we all know that Cathy is incredibly passionate about palliative care, and most of us are familiar with her leadership role in palliative care at St. Joe's Healthcare and at Parkwood Hospital. Right now, Cathy, I really want to single you out as a true leader during the pandemic. You worked tirelessly to ensure that despite the challenges, people continue to receive palliative care in office settings and in their homes. You also offered guidance on providing virtual visits as well as house calls safely for community palliative care providers. All this goes to show just how much Cathy cares about her patients, the community she serves, and the broader healthcare system. Cathy, on a personal note, I've benefited greatly from your knowledge and expertise. You and I have discussed, perhaps debated, a variety of topics over the years. I've always enjoyed our lively conversations, and no matter what the topic or length of our chats, at the end of the day, we always agree that access to quality patient care is paramount. I commend Cathy for her incredible achievements and contributions both locally and nationally. Dr. Faulds, you are a compassionate physician, a generous philanthropist, and an inspiring teacher. You have brought expertise and leadership to countless organizations. Cathy, I'm lucky to know you, and I'm grateful to have worked with you over the past decade. On behalf of Ontario Health, congratulations on this well-deserved recognition.
They tell me that it's difficult to get people who graduate in medicine to go into family practice. And I think it would be a very satisfying career move. So he practiced for a long time and had, what happens, you build relationships, the docs I know tell me, and you become to know families. And this one guy had some health issues, and his family doc saw him quite a bit. And he was pleased one day when the tests all came back good, it looked good, things had improved. So he says, Charlie, his name was Charlie, he said, Charlie, I've got all the results back. You're in good shape, for a man of your age. You've really done well. I'm really pleased with your progress. You got a wonderful, wonderful future. He thanked the doctor, and Charlie walked out and walked to the elevator, pushed the button, fell down and died. And there was commotion in the hall, and the doc said, what's going on? And the nurse came back in and said, Charlie just bought it out there by the elevator. And after you gave him a clean bill of health too. Wow, that's something. He said, I need you to do me a favor. What's this? Go out, turn him around so it looks like he was coming in. That's what we call a break-in formality. Rose Zacharias is here to talk to you virtually from her position with the Ontario Medical Association. Are you her? I thought you were going to be virtual. Let me look at you. You'd be... You a doc?
Thank you, I am.
Yeah, what kind of doctor?
I'm a family doctor.
See, I told you. Charlie, you weren't looking after Charlie.
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Zacharias.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I can honestly say I have not had exactly that elevator experience. But what I am here tonight to do, as we have been doing, is to honor a dear colleague and an esteemed leader at the Ontario Medical Association. I'm Rose Zacharias. I am a family doctor, a family medicine graduate of 2001 from Western University here in London. And so glad to come home in many respects, and joined by my Ontario Medical Association colleagues, John Botso, who is our interim CEO, and Dr. Andrew Park, who is our incoming president. And we are here in London to connect with physician leaders, to really have the conversations that the Ontario Medical Association, which represents all 43,000 physicians in Ontario, need to have with our political leaders and our physician leaders and our community leaders, our healthcare leaders, to better understand how to bring healthcare to people in Ontario. And I am so pleased to have been invited to share a few remarks as to how Dr. Cathy Faulds enables, equips, and empowers this organization to do just that. And so I want you to know that as physicians, we graduate and enter our profession with a title, and it comes, I think, as a measure of privilege. But there is a difference between being a professional with a title and a leader. And I have witnessed and benefited from Dr. Cathy Faulds, who has the title and the status of physician, but practices as a leader among us doctors who sit at the board of directors and who practice medicine in Ontario. And I am so thrilled that you are recognizing her in all of her capacities, because we have benefited from her leadership. Personally, whether it's been at Queen's Park, sitting on a panel, inviting the health minister and ultimately the premier to understand how we want to influence healthcare, and having Cathy moderate and manage that panel discussion so that we leave our mark on Queen's Park before we leave. Whether it's that particular activity on a great one day of her work at the OMA, or, honestly, Cathy, the telephone calls that I get to make near midnight sometimes as president at the OMA to my board chair because I need support. That's who Cathy has been to me, and that's who Cathy has been to all the doctors in Ontario. So it is a privilege to recognize her, to celebrate her, and I'm so glad to have been invited to share just a few words of what Cathy means to me, to us, and to Ontario. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Zacharias. I'd like to now call upon Dr. Tom Faulds, who I assume has some inside knowledge. Oh, no, not yet. Sit down. They wrote in. You're a write-in, Peter. For some years, quite a few years, I hosted a radio talk show. Most of you might know that, and the rest of you don't care. But whenever we talked about politics, specifically at the municipal level, people who had a disagreement or an issue, or there was one guy who lived in Byron, which before the city expropriated it was a lovely place, and no, it still is. There's just too many cars. But there was one guy who used to call my talk show all the time about everything. He's the guy that said, I've got one more appointment at my, he was going to an osteopath, and he said, I have one more appointment with my insurance. I said, well, do you need to? No, there's nothing wrong with me, but I got one more appointment. I'm going to go and see him. I said, don't do that. He said, why? I said, because you're taking up space and time and it's costing money. He said, I'm going to hang up. And he did. But he insisted that there was a street light on his street in Byron that had been out for weeks, months, and he kept phoning City Hall and nobody did anything about it. And he'd call me as if I had a way to help, and I didn't. And finally, in desperation, I said to him one day, look, George, call the mayor. I've called the mayor. He now will no longer take my calls. And so I let it go and forgot it. And then I ran into the mayor, Al Gleason. You'll all remember Al Gleason. I ran into a function and we got talking about George and Byron. And he said, my phone rang at 10 to 2 one morning. Woke me up. I thought there's some kind of municipal disaster. And he said, and it was George from Byron telling me the street light was out in front of his house. And I told him I'd look after it. And he said, you promised that? Your people won't do anything about it. And he said, I'm going to call you every night at this time until you get it fixed. So Al said, I was pretty frustrated about it. My wife made a brilliant suggestion. I set my alarm for 4:30 that morning, and when it rang, I got up and called George. I said, we're going to fix the light. And he said, do you know what time it is? He said, yeah, it's 4:30. And the guy said, well, that's no time to be calling people in the middle of the night. So being a municipal politician is not the easiest road to travel. And people always assumed that they weren't the kind of people that should be, and they thought someone else would be better. Well, working as a politician at the municipal level is darn hard work. You got to want to do it, and you got to have a commitment. And I'm pleased to introduce one of our city councilors, Mr. Peter Cuddy. Peter.
It's nice that Bill Brady's still telling bad jokes, isn't it? You know, I had the opportunity tonight to meet Cathy's mom, Ruth. And Ruth said, during the conversation, Ruth said she was from Watford. And I said, you're from Watford? said, I'm from Strathroy. I know where you're from. So it's really nice, Cathy, to meet somebody, Ruth, to meet somebody from my neck of the woods. So thank you. As you guessed, I'm not Mayor Josh Morgan, but I am honored to be here and to speak on behalf of the mayor. And Cathy, this is really an honor for me. It really is. And thank you so much for giving me this privilege. So on behalf of the mayor and city council, welcome to the 24th annual Salute to Laudable Londoners. This event demonstrates a true celebration of our community. It recognizes many exceptional philanthropists and givers within London, and recognizes many exceptional acknowledges their contributions in so many areas of our community. Tonight provides an opportunity to pay tribute to a truly laudable Londoner, Dr. Cathy Faulds. Cathy is the epitome of a strong, principled, and compassionate leader. Among many achievements, she currently serves as a palliative care physician with St. Joseph's Healthcare London, in addition to her work as a staff family physician at at London Healthcare Centre, along with providing palliative care leadership for St. Joseph's Healthcare London for over a decade. She has also provided primary care to her family practice in the London region for 32 years, having retired in 2020. I said to Lisa, my wife Lisa, tonight, I said, Cathy has been a physician for 32 years? I mean, I'm honest to God, how do you do it? You look great. But congratulations, that's a long time to practice, thank you. Since 1996, she has served as a clinical professor and mentor to undergraduate and graduate medical students at Western University. Dr. Faulds currently serves as chair of the Ontario Medical Association and chair of ARGI Inc., which delivers and evaluates chronic disease programs to primary care. She is a faculty member of the Center of Personalized Education for Physicians, where she specializes in teaching ethical remediation. Cathy, thank you for your tremendous contribution to our city. Your efforts have benefited generations of Londoners. Your passion for giving back is exceptional. Your accomplishments are a testament to your deep commitment to our great city, and this recognition tonight is so richly deserved. Let me also extend heartfelt thanks to PHSS for their continued recognition of London's leaders and the positive impact this organization has made on London. Thank you to everyone for attending tonight and helping honor Dr. Cathy Faulds as this year's Laudable Londoner. Cathy, best wishes to all for a memorable evening, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Peter. I don't know how the time was found to do even more than she does, but Dr. Faulds was the catalyst for a research project that Participation House and Schulich School of Medicine and Dentistry at Western had partnered on to evaluate individualized person-centered care plan approach for community care services. And now that approach has enhanced the lives of people that are supported currently by Participation House Support Services. And this research that Cathy managed has identified the positive impact of what is in Canada a unique approach to this type of care. The initial findings will be presented at the 23rd International Conference on Integrated Care that's being held in Belgium in May of this year. And I understand Brian Dunn will be attending on behalf of the organization, and will dip the French fries in mayonnaise. As a medical organization, mayonnaise is probably not the best thing to dip your French fries in. This is really a milestone initiative for organizations like PHSS, where little or no research exists on the positive impact of these services and support on the lives of people who are living well and healthy in the community with medical and complex needs. So PHSS says to Dr. Faulds, thank you for inspiring this vital work. And now I'd like to call upon Mr. Mike McMahon, the Executive Director of the Thames Valley Family Health Team. Then, Tom, you'll get a chance. But, well, we weren't ready for you. I'm sorry. Please.
Thanks very much. Also, the missing part was from Laurier University, one of the best schools in the province that's had 1,000 really bad experiences in London on the football field. So anyway, I'm super fortunate to be asked to do this. I wondered actually for several weeks after Cathy asked me just what it was that I could offer. I didn't know the list of speakers that would be bringing their greetings tonight, and I had to consider, okay, what role can I play? So I think that as a more recent teammate, I just met Cathy like seriously 4 years ago. I didn't even know what a family health team was. I was a patient of one. I was coming to primary care with really an approach to thinking about, we know that we can strive every day for something a little bit better, and that's kind of the approach. I met Cathy early on, and Cathy was also somebody after 29 or 30 years at the time was spending every day striving for something better, and so we had that in common, and it's been an amazing opportunity. And so then I end up in this company tonight, and it's I'm truly fortunate to be here with friends and colleagues, some people I haven't seen for some time. And it's truly incredible, I think, in the system and in a society that has so many challenges. I think we all had challenges today, that all of us could be having connection through less than 6 degrees here with our common friend, and 6-degree connection, Cathy Faulds, has got us here, got us all together. And so I thought about, well, from a team perspective, how do you meet a teammate that's a new teammate when the team is so big and make somebody feel welcome? And so I always go back to Lou Holtz, and his presentations are much better with a West Virginia accent. But I think it comes down to a lot of simplicity. And so it's just kind of a blend of 100 different times watching Lou Holtz over the years. But I think that when I look at the access we all have, and I think that that people are living life and career by 3 simple rules, and Cathy exemplifies this. 3 simple rules, and Cathy demands that all of us ask her 3 simple questions, and that's really the essence of Lou Holtz's message. So the first 2 simple rules in life: do the right thing, and do it to the best of your ability. We are here recognizing Cathy's constant yearning for the North Star. Some people have said, and we've heard people in the room, well, as those of us around Cathy have heard this said, is nothing good enough? Is nothing good enough? But Cathy wants to ask the first universal question, which is, can I trust you? And are you committed to excellence? And if I think, Cathy's been asked that. I trust you, and I can see you're committed to excellence. You're doing the right thing, and you're doing it to the best of your ability. And so I got brought into the team with that welcome. Cathy brings love. I think that in my experience in healthcare, I'm not a clinician. I get to work beside people that studied really hard to take care of their fellow humans, and we don't talk about love enough, in my opinion. But Cathy brings love to this career and this life. I heard I know lots about Cathy's family by story, and the third rule is to show people you care about them, and I think that I feel cared for, and a lot of people ask, why are you doing this for me? Cathy's been asked that over the years, I'm sure. At Participation House, I'm sure. By colleagues here, I'm sure. Why are you doing this for me? Cathy doesn't want to be asked that. Cathy demands that you ask her, do you care about me as a person? And I never asked that to you directly, but I certainly felt like you cared about me as a person, and I think that's a great way to be brought into the team. Cathy Faulds said, yes, I care about you as a person. So tonight we're all here to ask Cathy, will you accept this recognition because we trust you? We see your commitment to excellence, and you've showed us your love. Congratulations, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you for what you've done, at least in my career, but I think we're all on the same page here. And thanks for the opportunity.
And now, with great joy, Dr. Tom Faulds.
It's just, I'm really getting old. Oh, you're doing great. How amazing is Bill Brady? Growing up in London in the 70s, Bill Brady was in my kitchen 5 days a week. Well, he wasn't actually in my kitchen, but I think my mother wished you were. I always had a fear that if my dad went away for too long, my mom would be over at your place. Well, good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure and a privilege to say a few words about Cathy. Cathy and I met in undergrad at Western in 1981. I saw her across a crowded cafeteria, and I knew I had to meet her. I'm not positive she had the same initial attraction, but we ended up in medical school together, and apparently my dissecting skills over a cadaver were just too hard to resist. We were married at the end of third year, now over 35 years ago. We've shared the care of many patients over the years, and I've had a front row seat to observe her in action. Anyone who knows Cathy well understands that she combines two traits in her approach to many activities: a deep-seated wish to help others, and a dogged tenacity to accomplish these wishes. Whether in helping a patient in her practice, implementing initiatives to improve care at a broader system level, managing a girls' synchronized skating team, or preparing a family Christmas dinner, she always gives 100%. Her kindness, commitment, and energy have paired very well with her career choice of family medicine and palliative care. She's told me the reason she has so much work satisfaction is because of the ability to establish ongoing relationships with patients and follow them over time, helping with their challenges and sharing in their successes. In her office, she kept a large bulletin board of patient photos, with their permission, of course, many with Cathy having a big smile holding a baby, and then some taken many years later when those babies had grown up and she was holding their newborns. Some photos had 3 to 4 generations of patients that she cared for in her practice. I know that after a long day at work, looking at all those photos always gave her a boost of energy and a sense of satisfaction and connection. Cathy understands that it is a great privilege to provide care for her many patients, and I know she is extremely appreciative of the trust those patients have bestowed in her. At our graduation, Cathy was voted by our classmates to receive the award for most likely to succeed in family medicine. I think that provides an understanding of her affinity for primary care right from the beginning. Cathy's more recent professional activities have focused on leadership and system issues, but I've always felt her passion for providing high-quality, personalized frontline care has been her impetus to help improvements in the system, which in turn ultimately benefits the patient. As I mentioned, Cathy carries her motivation to all that she does. Thankfully, she's an amazing gardener, chef, and home decorator. And as the daughter of home hardware store owners, she's pretty skilled with a hammer and drill. I say thankfully because I possess no skill and significant laziness in all those areas. She continues to be an amazing mom to our daughters, Kelly and Jen, and a wonderful partner and best friend for me for over 40 years. Our family knows that this is a well-deserved award, and we are very proud of her for this important recognition. I know it means a great deal to her, and she's very touched by all the support that she's received here tonight. Congratulations, guys.
I'm sorry that I'm not available for dinner. This tonight is a way that one of the citizens, and sometimes two citizens of a community, are honored by an organization that works with individuals who, without their support and help, would have an entirely different kind of life. So it's very important that we provide this honor, and I thought it was a splendid idea when I first heard about it. It's 24 years. Now, the first one was at a restaurant in the Grosvenor building. Where was the first one? I think so, with Grosvenor, and it closed, but that wasn't my fault. But all these years later, every year someone has been honored. And one distinguished recipient said to me, they told me that the award of a Laudable Londoner, that designation only goes to people who have an impeccable reputation. And he said, when it was all over, I was glad that I could go back to being impeccable again. I'd like to now call upon the president, because the important thing, the chair rather, you could be president if would you like to be president? You're young enough, you could be president. Marianne Strom is going to come up here and do the important part. And you take it right through you take it right through to the end.
Yeah, okay, yep. Thank you, Bill. We have another brief video to share that highlights just one of PHSS's many initiatives. Love the World, Experience the World is the possibility of exploration, fun, and excitement for the individuals supported by PHSS. The goal of the project was to develop ways that PHSS individuals can see and experience the world virtually, to give them access to love the world and experience the world. While the pandemic closed the community involvement, togetherness, and made connections more difficult, PHSS accepted the challenge and found a creative way, with the use of virtual reality, to create a community of people who are passionate, engaged, and dedicated to providing world-class virtual reality experiences to those they support. Love the World, Experience the World is fully funded by PHSS Foundation. It's because of events like Laudable and generous people like yourselves here tonight that make these experiences possible. For all the new initiatives, partnerships, and rallied support from those in our community, like Dr. Cathy, we can't thank you enough for the support PHSS has received. Roll it.
Is it casting?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Snap. Crack a pop. Now, can you hear? How's the sound?
So the buttons are on the side that we can adjust. I think the other side.
Can you hear that okay, Justin?
Yep.
Whoa! Yeah, right? Look at that go!
My name is Mark Crossley. I've been an assistant coordinator here with PHSS, and I've been with the agency since 1990.
My name is Linda, and I am the project sponsor for Love the World, Experience the World with PHSS.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Oh shoot.
Is this the good stuff?
Oh yeah.
Love the World, Experience the World is a project that we implemented in 2020, an amazing year for all of us. And this project brings the possibilities of fun, excitement, and exploration to individuals.
Oh! Whoa!
They did it. They did it.
Oh! Yeah.
One of my most favorite things to do, just in general, is to introduce people to new experiences. Whether that's sights or sounds or places I've found or food. That's what I get to do with this. I go, hey, come on, you've got to see this. Check this out.
You okay?
Yeah. I was only kidding.
Oh, okay.
Whoa! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Oh, there's the chute.
Oh, parachute time.
To date, we have created about 15 experiences. Those experiences have ranged from swimming with the dolphins to exploring Ireland, going to Italy. And we are in the process of delivering those experiences to the individuals who have requested them. And that I'm really excited about.
Can you?
Yeah. Oh. Oh my God.
Here we go. Look at that. See, there's that suit I
This
shot
is
you.
amazing. You're free falling.
Why is this important? At this point in time, right, we're in the middle of a COVID lockdown, so it's a means by which people can get out and have a look around without actually getting out. And also it allows people to experience things safely, right?
We're at a time where the pandemic has impacted the world, and it has impacted everyone differently. We can all say that we've had our life restricted. The individuals supported by PHSS, even more so because of their vulnerability. We absolutely have to maintain their safety through the pandemic. So connecting people together virtually is one of the goals of the project. We need that more than ever now.
It's one thing just to sit and watch something by yourself, but it's another to experience it with another person. Kind of forms the basis of relationships, right? They're based on doing stuff together. I think as this program grows, right, that people who know the people that they support better and know what they love and what they can form those bonds and join with them. And that's one of the most important things, right? Building friendships.
I really hope that individuals receive that possibility of that fun, excitement, and exploration and want to do more. And more importantly, want to share it with the people that they either live with or other individuals supported by PHSS.
It is now my honor to introduce Becca Cook, who will present the Inukshuk to our honoree, Dr. Cathy. Come on up, Becca. An Inukshuk is a structure of rough stones traditionally used by the Inuit people to communicate with travelers along their journey. They are a beacon for those looking for the right direction and a safe passage. They are helpful symbols that demonstrate collaboration between communities. We celebrate Laudable Londoners to acknowledge the feeling of community which such persons exemplify. They represent the Foundation's dream for the future, that more Londoners will understand that acceptance of all its citizens is essential to making this a true community. We present our honorees with an Inukshuk, the symbol that we feel best represents what community work is all about. Symbolized by the rippling effect of a pebble in the water, a person's contributions benefit many more people than they first imagined. Congratulations, Dr. Cathy. Thank you in a few words.
Thank you so much for coming out tonight to celebrate and support an organization which is so near and dear to my heart, Participation House. It's wonderful to see so many colleagues, peers, friends, and people that have come from afar, family, tonight. It means so much. I'm just overwhelmed. For those of you who know me well, you'll know that this is not my strong suit to stand and accept an award. I really want to begin by stating that the palliative care physician in me, it's not lost on me that I've just been eulogized while I'm alive. And I much prefer that to the alternative, trust me. This is a 2-minute thank you, as I view this as equivalent to my Oscar acceptance. For an award that I really genuinely feel like an imposter to accept without the recognition of those who have sacrificed so much and given me the opportunity to live my values and create a very, very meaningful career. I wish to thank just a few people here, so I'll be really quick, I promise. But I want to thank my mother, Ruth, who's in the audience, and my daughters, Kelly, who are here virtually from California, and Jennifer, here virtually from Vancouver, and my husband, Tom. This award belongs to them as much as it belongs to me for the sacrifices that they have made to facilitate my role as a clinician and a physician leader. They have given up so much of me and my time, and I really, really appreciate that. There have been unique barriers to the work that I've done based on my gender and the time that I've grown up in healthcare, and having strong female role model like my mom, who was a professional my whole life growing up, and my husband, because it takes very, very strong men to support women to do the work that I have done. They've allowed us to teach my daughters and many other young women that they need to pursue their career choices and that those barriers can be eliminated. I want to thank the many patients who have trusted and respected my clinical skills and my knowledge. It's been a privilege to serve you as a family physician. Some of you are here this evening, and as a palliative care consultant, I've worked with many of you in the community, and I am just eternally thankful for that opportunity. And I want to thank the organizations who've given me the opportunity to practice and become a physician leader. St. Joseph's Hospital, I talk about the work that I do at Parkwood. Parkwood is my diamond in the rough. And for those at the Ontario Medical Association, they know that I sing the praises of Parkwood Hospital always and always will. London Health Sciences Centre, the University of Western Ontario, the Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry, the Schulich School, and the Ivy Business School. The family health teams in London, Mike spoke of the family health team, the London one and the Thames Valley, the London Middlesex Primary Care Alliance, the London Middlesex Ontario Health Team, and the Ontario Health that Dr. Everson appeared from. These organizations and their leaders really have developed me as a leader and matured my skills and my knowledge so that I could provide leadership provincially and nationally over my career to the point that I've come to now as the board chair of the Ontario Medical Association. I'm almost done, Becca. And lastly, I want to thank Participation House. This award is humbling, as I've mentioned, as I've received far more than I have ever given to this organization. During the pandemic, I was able to be out in the community of London practicing medicine thanks to this organization, doing what I love to do best. Albeit no one would have recognized me, and I have met many of the residents and clients of Participation House, but I was in complete garb. I looked from outer space, and they still greeted me with a smile and with incredible optimism during that pandemic, and that really sustained me. We talk about burnout, we talk about healthcare providers who are facing difficulty with their own health and well-being, and Participation House allowed me to continue what I love to do, and I'm not burnt out. I love what I do, so thank you. Thank you, Becca, and thank you to all the residents of Participation House. Lastly, I consider myself a product of London, having moved here, as Tom said, in 1978 for university. My love and debt to London has grown by knowing that what I consider to be my hometown now is proud of my life work. So take care and enjoy the evening, and thank you so much to Participation House for this honor and award.
Laudable in every sense, right? Before you, well, I was going to say before you ask, but I can see in your eyes, people are looking at their partner or their friend or whoever, and they're saying, he's been around forever. So I'll tell you that this is something I disclose rarely. In fact, I was doing fine until the Free Press put my age in the paper. Monday next, 91. Please don't confuse longevity with ability. Thank you for being here. Tonight, PHSS honored an outstanding physician and citizen of London. And in our world that is complex and difficult in which to live these days, it's a person who gives us the greatest gift of all, hope. Thank you and good night.